We have this breaking news out of Ferguson, Missouri. 2 police officers shot overnight outside police headquarters.
It happened at a demonstration with dozens of protesters celebrating the police chief's resignation and calling for more dismissals. Those 2 officers, both wounded seriously, were not from Ferguson. ABC's Bazi Kanani has the latest.
Protesters and journalists in Ferguson say they were packing up and clearing out when suddenly, at midnight, gunfire.
We saw the muzzle fire from the gun up top of the street, and so we all kind of just ducked down. And once we ducked down, we saw the cop was shot right next to us.
The bullets hitting 2 officers from neighboring police departments. A St. Louis County officer struck in the shoulder. A Webster Groves officer shot in the face. They were there to help keep watch over the protesters gathered outside the Ferguson police station after the resignation Wednesday of Police Chief Tom Jackson. He is the 6th city employee to resign or be fired since the release last week of a scathing Justice Department report finding widespread racial bias in the city and police department. Ferguson first erupted into protest, becoming violent at times after the fatal shooting in August of unarmed black 18-year-old Michael Brown by a white officer, Darren Wilson. Police say this morning at least 3 shots were fired from north of the police department.
These police officers were standing there and they were shot just because they were police officers.
The gunman still on the loose and dozens of witnesses shaken.
Bullets were really right past my head. It was kind of traumatic. I'm still kind of in shock because of it. Yeah.
It's ABC's Bazi Kanani. Thanks so much, Bazi. Now, joining us live over the phone is our ABC producer, Mary Moore. Mary, good morning to you. Can you tell us exactly what you're seeing right now?
Good morning. I'm looking at the police tape, and we have different municipalities parked in front of the Ferguson Police Department. And then there's also looks like they're still looking for someone, so they're armed and walking around.
And as you mentioned, these he said officers from different municipalities, and we heard about 2 officers shot, and sure enough, they're not from the Ferguson Police Department. What do we know about their conditions at this point?
I haven't really heard anything about their conditions. I mean, I tried asking questions. They were identified as having the brown uniforms, so that's typically St. Louis County officers.
And Mary, what is your sense right now? Officials there for a very long time have been worried about things escalating yet again. Do you get that sense that this could sort of set things off again?
Definitely. I felt like that was going to happen after the press conference earlier. We came outside the press conference and there was kind of a problem with some Darren Wilson protesters that showed up because they were, not in favor of Chief Jackson, stepping down. So all night, there's kind of been a tension in the air.
Okay, ABC producer Mary Moore. Mary, thank you so much.
And we are getting new video now just in from that scene.
You can see, take a look, investigators going over evidence from the shooting. It appears to be the officer's helmet on the ground. This video taken just minutes ago. That's a grassy area across the street from the Ferguson Police Department.
And of course, as soon as news broke of this shooting, pictures started popping up immediately on social media.
Many of the images on Twitter showing protesters standing toe-to-toe with police officers. Others showing officers with their guns drawn. Certainly a very tense scene moments after the shooting. And
we're keeping a close eye on this story. Again, the breaking news overnight, 2 police officers shot in Ferguson, Missouri during a protest there. You can stay with ABC News with the very latest on the officers shot. Another update later on America This Morning. And of course, we'll have another roundup for you on Good Morning America.